Buyer Beware series, part 3. Shared only the things on the last video that we found in the inspection that were not disclosed, misrepresented, omitted, whatever word you want to use, insert here, but not the accurate information was provided. And we realized that the seller agent knew, no other way, very direct. When we were able to get the prior septic inspection, which showed the outlet baffle was already deteriorated, which could be impacting the drain field, that they would not share the well report even though requested. So we never got the actual water results from 2018, but we actually got the home inspection from 2018, which, just remember, that home inspection just doesn't sometimes stay between the two parties that are purchasing the home at the time. And we were able to find that home inspection, and another party that was involved was able to share with us, and we did see their home inspection from 2018, which showed water in the crawl space. The water softener, who we were endlessly trying to get this person to come out that didn't specialize in RainSoft, and were denied access to the softener because they wanted their person to see, but neither here nor there. The water softener was actually leaking in 2018, and there's no sign or proof that it was ever addressed or ever repaired. So that softener was in bypass mode, and we weren't told. So the water softener is completely leaking. The water pressure for the home in 2018 was just like it is when we were doing our home inspection. We did obtain the actual full survey, which the seller did have, which showed the east. It showed the property line that we were looking for, but I want to say it's the south property lines or the east. I don't remember, but one part of the property lines were not shown, which then showed the easement in a different place. And the seller and the listing agent knew. I mean, they had this information and did not share. So we compared the resident disclosure that said that the home had no easements, no problems with the home. We shared with you that we found some big problems. I mean, our main items were safety. So the water was off, the softener not working, the septic drain field, the outlet baffle, and now we're still looking at these property lines, which thank goodness the neighbor came out and was able to share, because we thought their well, the neighbor's well, was on the property. So all these things were happening and no communication, zero. And finally reached out and had a call with the listing agent, who basically said, your excessive emails are basically driving me crazy. And when I tell you this was like within 24 days of the transaction, I could maybe count 5 or 6 emails. And the majority of them were because the DDRA, our due diligence request agreement, was sent and there was no response. There was no like, hey, we're not gonna do this. Hey, we'll maybe address this. Nothing, crickets. We were not allowed to do our assessments. Now we're talking to our buyers. Our due diligence period's not getting the $25,000 in due diligence, which we said you might never get back. We have to approve. So now we're proving that the listing agent and seller had the information and didn't share. But now we're making a big decision because there's more money on the line once our due diligence period over, the earnest money. We call our attorney. I sat back and was like, how hard is it to represent buyers? It's not from a legal standpoint, from a contractual standpoint, because there are things on the contract that clearly states that the selling party needs to give access to the people that are purchasing during the due diligence period. And we already knew that that wasn't happening. So it was one of the first things we shared. We were told that there was an actual offer on the property when we changed our offer to find out that there was no actual offer. So we were competing against who? Nobody, ourselves. The due diligence period and extension and communication just wasn't there. Here we sit with the attorney, and basically our option was litigation to sue. They could walk away from the property, try to get their $25,000 in due diligence, but we had their home being sold as these clients were our buyers for this transaction, as sellers, they were doing anything to make sure the new buyers were getting their home. We were guiding them and working with them and telling them, look, this is no longer your home, but it's somebody else's. Be proud of your investment when you turn it over. So we were hoping for the same thing during this transaction. Just didn't happen. We sit now on the phone and the attorney is basically, listen, you can go to litigation, you can sue, but you could really look at this from an ethical standpoint. We decide as a team, because now we are a team with the attorney, we're a team with our clients. What do you want us to do? We have this information. Do you want to go forward with purchasing? These items are fixable. We can do this together, but we had to be honest with them. We could ask for concessions because it was pricey. These items are expensive. To move a drain field, if that was going to be the case, could be upwards of $20,000. If you need a bigger tank, sometimes it could go up to $7,000. A new water softener to move a drain was like $10,000. We're talking thousands of dollars. And our buyers wanted this house. They did some repairs based on what they felt needed to be done. Here we sit now knowing we could either back out, fight for the $25,000 in due diligence, or keep going knowing that we feel like we've been taken advantage of. So the win-win, we're still trying to find. We're moving forward. We added up any estimate we can gather, and it was close to $30,000 just on the items that were omitted or misrepresented. And we were told no, that the seller already paid for certain repairs and they told us what they paid for. So that was another big decision. Now we know we're moving forward. We're getting no concession. We competed on our own offer and we have this work to do on the home. I'm so proud, so excited for our clients because they were like, you know what, this is fixable. And when we do fix that, it's gonna increase the value of our home. And this is our dream home in our dream location. And we're gonna go ahead and move forward and we're gonna address it a different way. So the attorney was like, litigation? Okay, but there is a North Carolina Commission Board that talks about ethics and misrepresentation. And now that unfortunately is becoming our focus. And I created an email showing the information that was given on the MLS and now the information that we are privy to show that this information was known and not shared, and when asked for, not given. So when we talk buyer beware, and don't worry, I'm gonna tell you how it ends, how it finishes on the next episode, but buyer beware, really know your rights, your due diligence. And no one wants to be negative and scare buyers and say, but we have to. As realtors, it's our duty to let you know this due diligence you might never get back. To prove misrepresentation can be really hard because you have to prove that they knew and then it was misrepresented. And in our case, we have that information. You could go on GIS mapping. So if you're looking to buy, and you could reach out and I will give you direction, but look at your county and put the county's name, like Wake County GIS mapping. Put the address in. You'll have all the documents there. In Wake County, when you go into the tax page, you'll see different tabs up top. Sometimes people can't find permits and different information. Click on notes. Sometimes the permits will be under there. Call, you're investigating, inspecting. If the home didn't close too far out, call the other parties that were privy to the transaction when it closed the first time. Any information they can share. Look, call Wake County if there's a septic. Call insurance companies. Has there been any insurance claims on this home? It's uncomfortable to ask for things, but it is more uncomfortable to know that you didn't represent your clients to your fullest. And I am beyond proud that we did. And we're continuing to, and we're going to continue to fight because it's not right. And I always try to do the right thing. I make mistakes. I learn from my mistakes. And during a transaction, if there's something I didn't know or wasn't aware of and I'm called out on, I'll own it. I will. There's a right and a wrong. And there is a shade of gray, but we all have the same common goal to get to close, and everybody wants to move in happy and move on happy. And that's the goal for this transaction. But it is my true job to advocate for my clients to make sure that their money and their investment is being spoken for. And so beware, do your homework, let your buyers know what could happen, keep their eyes open, and fight. When someone says no, look someplace else. If you can't find the information, someone knows something. Although there might be thousands of realtors in this area, someone always knows somebody. And those really good agents are willing to help those. And we work together as a team because we're all invested in our clients, because it's their money, it's their families, it's their own personal investment. And I don't like playing with somebody else's money. I don't like playing with my own. So stay tuned for next week when you could find out how this all came about. Did we close? Are we going to save the earnest money and walk away? I think I already shared that we didn't do that, but what are the next steps? Are we going to fight for the offer that didn't exist, that we negotiated against our own offer? What are we going to do about the ethics, the misrepresentation? And will closing go smooth? So look forward to seeing you next week on our final episode of Buyer Beware. Again, comment, like, ask questions, because we all want to grow and be better. And I definitely have and will continue to. Have a great rest of